Today we are going to learn substitution in algebraic expression, and we are going to treat three levels. We have the basic level, we have the intermediate level, and then we have the challenging level. So the first one that we have here is the basic level. And the question is, evaluate 3m minus 4n plus 5 when m is equals to 6 and n is equals to 2. Substitution means replacing one thing by another thing. So in this case, it means we are going to replace the variable m and n with their respective values. And before I move on, I would like to explain that if you have 3m, as you are seeing in the question, 3m is the same thing as 3 times m. So what it means is that if you see a number and a variable attached to each other like this, basically it means they are multiplying. So 4m will also mean 4 times n. So with this understanding, we are going to replace the m and then the n in the expression with 6 and 2 respectively. So we are going to have 3, then I bring my parentheses here, and I replace the value, the m by 8 value, which is 6. Then I'll bring my subtraction sign, I write the 4, and I replace the n by 8 respective value, which is 2. Then I'll bring this 5 here, or I'll add this 5 to it. Now 6 times 3 is equals to 18. Now, if you see a number attached to a parenthesis, it means the number is multiplying whatever is in the parenthesis. So in this case, this 3 here is multiplying this 6. So we have 18, then 4 times 2 is going to give us 8. So you shouldn't forget the subtraction sign that we see over here. So we have 18 minus 8, then we have plus 5. Now we have this 18 minus 8 plus 5. So first we are going to subtract the 8 from the 18, which is going to give us 10. And then we add the 5 to it. So 10 plus 5 is going to give us 15. So this is the answer to the question, evaluate 3m minus 4n plus 5 when m is equals to 6 and n is equals to 2. What we did was to replace the m and the n by their respective values, which are 6 and 2. So now let's move on to the intermediate level. For the intermediate level, we have evaluate 6x squared minus 2y squared. Now, before I solve or we solve this question together or learn how to solve this question together, let me explain that x squared or any number with an exponent of 2 or any letter with an exponent of 2 means that letter or number is multiplying itself 2 times. So x squared simply means x times x. Or let's say if you have something like y exponent 3, it means you are going to have y times another y. So in this case, if you have a number, let's say 2, if 2 has an exponent of, let's say, 4, what it means is 2 times 2 times 2 times another 2. And here you can see that the 2's are 4. So this is what we should understand on exponents. So now let's come back to our question. So we have 6 here. So now we are going to replace the x here by its corresponding value, which is 4. So we are going to have 4, then we are going to put the exponent of 2 on top. Then we are going to write the minus sign. Then our 2 will come here. And then we are going to replace this y by its corresponding value, which is 3. So we have 3 here. Now the y also has an exponent of 2, so we put the 2 over there. Now since we have 4 squared, it means 4 times 4. And 4 times 4 is 16. So we are going to have 6 in the parentheses, then we have 16 minus, now 3 squared, which also means 3 times 3. And I know 3 times 3, or we know 3 times 3 is going to give us 9. So we put the 9 in the parentheses like this. Now 6, we are supposed to multiply the 6 and then the 16. 6 times 16 is going to give us 96. But we can try to see whether it is actually 96. So we are going to have 6 times 6 is 36. So we are going to be left with a 3, which forms part of the 36. Now, if we multiply 6 by 1, we are going to have 6 plus the 3 is going to give us 9. So we have 16 times 6 is going to give us 96. Now, we are supposed to multiply 2 by the 9. And 2 by 9, or 2 times 9, is going to give us 18. Now, let's subtract 18 from 96. We know you cannot subtract 8 from 6. So we have to take 1 from the 9 and add it to the 6. That 1 is 10. So 10 plus 6 is going to give us 16. Then 16 minus 8 is going to be 8. Now this 9 is no longer 9, but rather 8. So when you subtract 1 from 8, you are going to have 7. So it means the answer is going to be 78. So now we have used substitution, the idea of replacing a variable by a number, which is substitution, to solve this expression. So this is the intermediate level. Now let's move on to the challenging level. Though it is called challenging level, there are other advanced form of this, or there are other questions which are pretty difficult than what I'm going to do over here. So let's try to solve this question. It's the same way that you use in solving the first two questions that you are going to use in solving this question. So now for this question, we have evaluate 8p squared minus 4q plus q out of 2 when p is equals to 3 and q is equals to 8. So our variables here are the p and then the q. So what we need to do is we are going to replace the p by 3 and q by 8. So after writing our solution here nicely, so I'll write my 8. And since you have p exponent 2, it means I'm going to write my 3 because the p is equals to 3. And then the exponent of 2 is up here. Now I'll bring my subtraction sign. I'll write 4. Then since Q is 8, I'll write 8. Then I'll write plus. We have another Q divided by 2. So the Q here is 8, and I'll put the 2 below or under the 8. Now, our 3 squared, which is 3 times 3 from our previous lesson or our previous question, is 9. So we have 8, then we have 9 in the parentheses. Now, if we multiply 4 by 8, we are going to have 32. So let's bring our minus here and then the 32. Now, we have 8 divided by 2. And this can easily be solved. So 8 divided by 2 is what? 4. So now we have 8, which is multiplying the 9. And 8 times 9 is going to be 72. Then we have minus 32. Then we have plus 4. Now, we have to subtract the 32 from the 72. So let's do that here. 72 minus 32 is this. Now 2 minus 2 is going to give us 0. And then you come over to this side. 7 minus 3 is going to give us 4. So we are going to have 40 plus 4. And 40 plus 4 is going to give us 44. So this is our answer to this question. So we did the basic level, which means the easy ones. And this is the question 3m minus 4n plus 5 when m is equals to 6 and n is equals to 2. So we have to replace the m and the n by 6 and 2 respectively. And anything in parentheses with a number attached to the parentheses means it is multiplying. So what I mean is 3 and then the parentheses which contains the 6 is the same thing as 3 times 6. So note this anywhere that you see them. Now, we use all the steps to get our answer to be 15. Now, when it comes here, we also go to know something that we call exponent. And you got the understanding that any number with an exponent, let's say 5 exponent 3 is the same thing as 5 times 5 times 5. Please, some students, when they see 5 exponent 3, they think it is equals to 5 times 3. Please, it is never equals to that. 5 exponent 3 is equals to 5 times 5 times 5, not 5 times 3. So please, take this and it's going to help you. And the last question was this expression here. We use the knowledge that we had from the previous question to solve this. Thank you for watching. Bye.